Hi, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I am still a little bit sick. I have been sick for some weeks now, and that's why this video is a little bit overdue. But I aim to follow up on a video that I make where I found other booktubers' favorite books, and I have been wanting to read them. There were a lot of books that I found, and I am thinking about doing like a part 2 because I didn't get to half of them yet. But I've also been really sick and my family's been sick, and yeah, that's life. The fall is here, and let's have some tea. But I wrote the booktubers down that I found, and let's just start with like the ones that I didn't get to. Anna Wallace Johnson is a booktuber that I found, and she seemed to be quite popular on booktube. Sorry, my pronunciation is not great today. But she mentioned the Shards by Bret, Easton, Ellis, and Donna Tart, The Secret History. And those two books were on my audiobook app. Bret Easton Wallace, who wrote The Shards, is also the author for American Psycho. I didn't know that. I have not read American Psycho, and I don't know if that's a book that I wanted to read. And I was looking up the plot for The Shards, and when I was like trying to find a new book to read, and I don't know about that book because it seemed really heavy. There was a lot about someone being obsessed by someone else, and I cannot remember if there was like a murder mystery as well, and a lot of like drugs and rich people and stuff like that. I think that was the plot, and it just kind of gave like really creepy, tough, heavy. I'm sorry, heavy is really like I want to cough every time I'm saying that. Otherwise, I'm saying heavy. That's really heavy. But anyways, yeah,
too heavy.
And I wasn't in the mood for it. And then The Secret History, I think that was the book with like a murder mystery, but like not in a nice way, like more of like a creepy way. I think that was also about rich people and drugs, and yeah, I was not in the mood for it. So I'll see if I can get to one of these books in like my next video. I just really have to be in the right mood for these books. And they're also pretty long. The audiobooks were like 25 hours long, so it's not like a quick and short read. Definitely have to be in the right mood for it. But yeah, that's my plan, and I'll see if I can get to it. Then Live in Literature mentioned If We Were Villains, and I have a copy of it like from the library, and this sounds really great, kind of like more like my alley. And this is a YA, I think, young adult book. And it's about this tournament, and if you win this tournament, you have like the rights to control this city or country. And then there's like 6 really powerful families, and they each choose a member to fight in this tournament, and it's like a fight to death kind of thing. I think that's the plot, and it sounds really interesting and not heavy in the way like the other books. Even though it's like fight to death. I'm hoping that this will be great. The only problem for me is that I don't have it on my audiobook app, so I'll have to find time to sit down and actually read and not listen to an audiobook. But yeah, I'm really hoping to get to this one, and I have high hopes, so yeah, this better be good. Then the next booktuber that I found was Peruse Project, and I've seen a lot of her videos, and she mentioned Station 11, which is a post-apocalyptic book by Sarah J. Mandel. And I have read another book by Sarah J. Mandel, but I cannot remember what it's called. But that was about time travel, and I really liked that book, and it was quite unique, but in a good way. But I think people are a bit mixed about these books. But yeah, I am up for like a post-apocalyptic book, and I don't think it's that long either. So I think I would definitely have read this book for like my next video. Okay, let's take a tea break. Yeah, that's the plan. It sounds really good, so cannot wait for this book. So let's get to some of the books that I actually did read. I started with book series that I thought that would be one of my new favorites. Um, and that's Rebecca Ross' Divine Rivals series. It's a duology, so it's not that long. But I was a little bit let down. I think overall this would be like more a 3.5 stars for me to the series. I really had high hopes, but it didn't really work for me. Like the first half of book one was really great, I will say. But I was just a little bit disappointed, and I think the style of this book is just really not my thing. But if you're into like Pride and Prejudice, this would definitely be your kind of book, I think, because there's just a lot about writing fancy letters and being fancy with your words and trying to be really poetic and romantic with the words, and not my style at all. But this is about Iris and Rowan, and Iris and Rowan is working as reporters in this world where I would say it kind of like gave like 60s or 70s vibes. They're writing on like typewriters, so maybe even older than that. But then again, like same-sex marriages were totally fine, so it's not like that. So the society is not that prejudiced. Yeah, women are working, and that's totally normal. So kind of give like old times vibes, but then again, really modern. I don't know. But in this world, like there's magic, and the magic is coming from the gods, but the human has tricked the gods, so they have all like falling asleep and been buried. But they are waking up again, and a war is starting up between two of the gods. They want to like kill each other, and Rowan and Iris are then suddenly being war correspondents, and they have connected through their typewriters because the typewriters have like a magical element to it, so they can always write to each other no matter where they are. And they do write really poetic and romantic letters, and that's where I got a little bit lost, because it was way too much for me. It was like, oh, it's raining today, and the way that the rain was coming down just reminded me so much of the water running from your eyes, or whatever. I'm not good at that, but it's not my style. It was way too much for me, and I don't like that. Maybe I'm too much of a boy inside. I don't know. And also, I just felt a little bit convenient that suddenly these two very young teenagers are suddenly going to be like war correspondents, and suddenly they are really central for this war. You know, it was just a little bit too convenient in many ways. So yeah, I didn't write with the story as much as I thought I would. But if you have read any other of Rebecca Ross's books, I would really want to know what you thought about those books, because they are on my like audiobook app, and I really wanted to get to them, but now I'm not so sure, because she's really famous for writing like romantasy, but is her style my style? I don't know. I can see why a lot of people would like Divine Rivals. It's just not my style at all. But yeah, so like a 3.5 star. It's not, bad, but it's not going to be one of my favorites. Then I just finished The Raven Boys, and I got that recommended by Ayisa's Afterwards channel. And I thought this was like a middle grade that was really similar to like Harry Potter, so I was like, yeah. It's not at all. I would say more like it's YA, but I really enjoyed the book. Anyways, there's like 4 books in this series, and yeah, a 4 star, I think. And that's really high for me. So yeah, that was really good. It's about Blue, and her family is like psychics. I feel like I'm saying sidekicks, like kicking to the side, but sidekicks, right? Okay. And she's the only one who's not. She's living like with her mother and her aunts and all of her cousins, and they can like see some parts of the future. And yeah, I think in the next book we are learning more of why she can't see the future as the others. But anyways, they're living in Henrietta. And in Henrietta, there's also this really prestigious school for boys. And the book also follows these 4 boys that are on a hunt for this magical king that's buried somewhere, and if you find this king, he can like grant you a wish. And yeah, they're on this hunt for him, and somehow Blue and these 4 boys' stories get like entwined. Is that how I say it? And she helps him on this hunt, and she's always been told that her first true love kiss, that boy she's gonna kiss, he's gonna die. So she's really careful, but you know, maybe she has a romantical romance with one of them, or maybe with one of the others. The story's not quite clear yet, but yeah, that's gonna be really interesting to see how it's gonna turn out. So this maybe a love story going on, but I'm not so sure yet how it's gonna turn out. It's really not that clear, and I kind of like that about this series. And yeah, this was just done really well. This is way more my style, I think. And even though it's YA, you can definitely read this as an adult, I would say. Yeah, I think that's what I struggle a little bit more about Divine Rivals. That read maybe way too much like YA. I think I would have enjoyed it if I were 15, 16, 17, but today, not so much. But a lot of adult people still like these books, but yeah, just not me. I don't know what's wrong with me. But anyways, the Raven Boys series was really great, and I cannot wait to continue it. And yeah, I have not read a plot that reminded me of that at all, and this did not remind me of Harry Potter at all as well. I like it, so that's my plan, to continue that series, and then the other books that I talked about in my next video, maybe. Yeah, so that was really great. Then I DNF'd a book. And this book was recommended by Emmy, and I have seen a lot of Emmy's videos. And she has talked so much about An Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice. And I was like, I definitely have to read that book because she talked so much about it. I absolutely hated it, and I gave up halfway. So that was great. This is about a man who gets turned into a vampire in like the 17th century, maybe. And then he has to live with that vampire who turned him. And that vampire is quite sadistic and a narcissist, or yeah, not a nice man. And it's really brutal, and the descriptions of what they're doing just did not vibe with me at all. They're doing horrible things to people, to children and stuff like that, and no, that is, I needed a little bit more soft, I think. I am not into that much detail of men murdering children. Like, I'm not. I'm never gonna enjoy that kind of book. So I DNF'd it. I was like, you know what? I am not enjoying this at all. I don't want to torment myself anymore. So I quit. And I was like, Emmy, seriously. But yeah, if that's your style, I'm not judging. But no, that was not for me. And I am really trying to learn to give up on a book when you're just getting the feeling from it, like, don't continue. So I stopped. But Emmy also mentioned The Girl Who Drank the Moon, which is a middle grade, and that sounded so sweet, so that's really like a contrast here. And yeah, that book I really wanted to get to, so maybe I'll have read that book in my next video, but I'll see. I think that's all the books. So I got through like the Divine Rivals 2 books and the Raven Boys, and then halfway through An Interview with a Vampire. So that's not bad because I've been sick. Really sick. But yeah, that's the plan for like my next video, to read the other books. And I'm hoping to do maybe a little bit of a vlog, maybe. I had tried to do some vlogging, but yeah, the videos did not turn out great, and yeah, like I said, I've just been way too sick. So this was more like a wrap up and my next TBR. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for clicking on this, and please give it like a thumbs up and subscribe. And yeah, I hope to see you in my next video, and let me know if you have a book that you think that I would like, one of your favorites. I am always on the hunt for other people's favorites, so yeah, that would be great. And hopefully I'll see you in my next video, and you have a great day, and stay healthy and cheers.